Good morning, everybody. Wow, it's Monday morning. It is just after 6 o'clock. I saw some very rude comments last week about how we never start at 6 and a whole lot of just bullshit from, obviously much more disciplined people than me and Flex and James. So first of all, welcome back, Flex. He got back from his trip to visit the family in KwaZulu-Natal. First thing he said to me is, not as cold there as it is here. It's a much more civilized place from a temperature point of view. And I noticed the other day, as I was telling our guest, the stalwart Mashene Sefuti, who's back. You are a stalwart.
Yes, absolutely.
Stalwart.
What's a stalwart again?
Someone who's been in the struggle from day one. They can be depended on. They can be relied on. we can say to Mash, like, listen, dude, Leanne is in, where is she again? Bali.
Bali.
She's gone to Bali. And we said, who would we like in here and who do people like the most and who always has the best stories? And it's Mash. So you are stalwart. All right. So I was telling stalwart Mash that when you wake up in the morning and you wake up at like 4 or 5, even 6 to some degree, it's not as cold at that point as it is when the sun comes up straight away.
Yeah.
James and Flex both smoke cigarettes.
Yes. I could smell it on them as they arrived.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So isn't that like cool and a little bit?
Smoking cigarettes is no longer cool, Gareth. I myself recently just quit vaping. These things are no longer as in as people thought they were.
Hang on, you've quit vaping?
Yes, I used to vape like crazy.
I started at the beginning of this year, and I'm kind of embarrassed that I'm
You
still doing
started?
it. I started it this year. I'm far behind the trend on this one.
Hey, well, Gareth, how do you even get hooked on vaping?
I'm not really hooked. I can promise you I'm not because
Yeah.
I've bought probably 4 or 5 since January.
Okay, since
So if
Jan.
you've only had 4 or 5 vapes since January, that's like less than one a month.
How frequently are you smoking? Every day?
No, I usually do. I'll have, while they're out on the balcony smoking after the show, then we
Yeah.
have our meetings, right, James? Yeah. We have our show meetings.
Okay.
And then the two of them will be like,
Yeah.
and I'll be like,
The smoky show meetings.
but you know what? I think it's also, I could get used to it, and that worries me a little bit. And
Yeah.
I know I've already got lots of shit from the people who listen to and watch this show
Gareth.
about it. But
Yeah.
I haven't noticed, the most important thing is I haven't noticed any changes in my physical activity, breathing, or any of that shit. I've never been a smoker, right?
Okay.
So it's not as if it's a kind of this, I'm trying to replace smoking with vaping or anything.
Yes.
If it's there, I'll have it. If it isn't, I don't worry about it.
So the thing with vaping is that it creeps up on you so slowly. The addiction of vaping, it literally creeps up on you. You don't even realize you're addicted until one day somebody grabs it from you or something.
Maybe
and
I'm
then,
addicted.
And then you're just like, "Wah!" You're just losing your
really?
mind and screaming at them.
So how bad were you?
So I never even thought I was addicted. I was always like shaming my colleagues, like, I'm not addicted to this thing. Like, I can stop anytime I want.
And they'd be like,
But I was delusional. I was in Delulu land.
Yeah.
And it was only when my partner was like, go a day without it. I was like, hey, you know what? Maybe I can't do that. Maybe let's take things slow. Maybe let's go a few hours without it first before we go a whole day. And that's when I realized that, I am kind of addicted to this
So
thing.
how did you can it completely? Because you said you'd quit.
So my partner straight up was just like, yeah, it'll be nice if you stopped. And I was like, do you want me to stop? And they were like, if you want to.
See, I think
and I just put it down.
Why vaping gets away with more than smoking does is because it doesn't smell as bad.
Yes.
Right?
And also, it's this nice
Doesn't mean
smelling
it's good.
cloud. Yeah, you can do it indoors.
And, well, we've just decided here in this office, there's no more vaping inside.
Ah, fantastic.
Which I think is good because other
Yeah.
people didn't ask for that.
Absolutely. Nobody
know?
asked for that.
And I'm always against rules because I don't like it when the government says to smokers they have to go outside.
Yeah.
I think it's just not that it was great before when smokers were on airplanes. I mean, smokers used to smoke on planes. They had ashtrays.
Yes.
On the very old planes, you can still see the ashtray in the...
What?
Can you imagine that?
Remember, cars used to come with ashtrays.
Yeah, big time.
Everything came with an ashtray.
There were ashtrays everywhere. And people used to smoke in movies and everywhere. So I'm not a fan of that as a non-smoker, and I don't
Yeah.
like the way my clothes smell when I've been around smokers or any of that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But I grew up in a house with parents who both smoke, so I'm not militant about it.
Okay,
And
I
if
get it.
you know, I've got some friends who smoke, not a
Yeah.
lot actually, but I don't mind it. It doesn't bother me. I'm not massively against it, but I do think there's a happy medium. Like the smokers have got to be considerate, not smoke around everybody, especially children, maybe.
I feel like smokers have no choice but to be considerate, especially knowing that smoking is something that you have to do outside.
Well-
As compared to vapors. Vapors are the least considerate in
They
my
probably
opinion.
are.
Because they can do it anyway.
you're right.
And also, Gareth, the addiction of vaping, what makes it so extremely addictive compared to a cigarette is a cigarette you have to go outside to do. You have to go to a designated spot. If you're going to a restaurant, they ask you, smokers? And you're like, yes, smokers, yes. Compared to a vape, you can do it anyway. Gareth, this thing.
But don't they have rules about vaping as well in restaurants and things? I'm sure they do.
I'm not sure, actually.
I think they
I've
would.
never tried. I've never tried to vape in a restaurant.
No, neither
Yeah.
have I. But okay, so you decided enough.
Yeah, I just went cold turkey. Last week, Wednesday, actually. So last week, Wednesday, when I was here,
Was it
I was
difficult?
out of it. Oh, it was hard. I was so out of it last week, Wednesday. Nobody was home in this head.
But how does okay? So this is the thing that I've also noticed with my limited exposure to this thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make you feel any way. It's just a thing you do. Do
You
feel
only realize that you felt something when you stop.
okay? What your lungs?
So the first thing for me was appetite. So nicotine is an appetite suppressant. So
Okay.
the moment you stop smoking nicotine, your appetite skyrockets. Gareth, I've been eating pots of food. I've been doing meal prep and eating the whole pot every night. It's been hectic. So
All right, that's number one. So that's not great. You don't want
that's
that.
not great. My appetite is insane. I'm a monster.
Okay.
And then number two, as soon as nicotine leaves your body, your sex drive actually skyrockets as well. Like you're like always good to go all the time. That's another thing.
wow.
And another thing would have to be just your lung capacity. I am able to hold my breath for way longer now.
But it's been a
Way
week,
longer.
Mash. How do you know that?
Because I've been holding my breath.
He sits in the Mash is sitting in the car at like 4 a.m. going with his timer on his phone.
Life
Seriously,
is
in a
unpredictable.
week?
Yes, in just 1 week, the changes I've seen. And it's just been awesome. All of the changes have been positive from my perspective. And on top of things as well, because I'm taking lots of mints. Mints are what actually help you get over vaping. So you need some sort of minty flavor,
You need
whether
something
it's
to
chappies.
do with your mouth and your hands.
Yes. So for me, it's been sucking mints, sucking fishermen's friends.
All right.
So I just suck on them, and then those actually like give me that thing to do with my mouth. And another bonus of that is that I've fresh smelling breath all the
But
time.
you don't. You also get those vapes that have 0% nicotine,
Yes.
right?
But those feel like you're wasting your time.
Oh, so you like the nicotine?
Yeah.
I got you.
I think
All right.
I did try those vapes, and I think I still have the flavors. I bought them like last year sometime, and I was like, yep, wasting my time. Feels like
Okay.
I'm just smoking air. So
Well,
the nicotine is the thing.
I have a nice comment here for you from Desperate Housewife. She says, just tuned in, always delighted and overjoyed to see MASH. Lots of fans there. Okay, and then we've got a couple others. Good news that the Amazing Box won their game this weekend against Italy. They
Yes.
smashed them, so proud of them for the win. So I actually watched quite a bit of sport this weekend, and we'll get to the sport with James in a little bit. He's going to give us the updates on what you might have missed, but I watched some Wimbledon yesterday.
Oh wow.
I watched the rugby on Saturday. I had a pretty sporty weekend, but all in front of the TV, which is not great because then you just sit there and snack and you're lazy, right?
Not
I
necessarily.
mean, I can't do it for too long. So that's my sport for the whole of winter sorted now. And then I didn't tell you this at the beginning of the show, but I'll tell you now.
Okay.
I had the most incredible thing happen to me this morning,
What happened?
which started my week in exactly, I think, the perfect way. I've never seen this before. So I'm walking out to the car, out of my house. I look up and I'm facing south. and I see a shooting star, but it burns a line, and then another little piece comes off of it. I think it must have been a comet or well, not a comet, a meteor or something, or a satellite burning up. I don't know, but it was beautiful. It wasn't very bright, so it looked like a star, but it was going. It went like this at that speed, and it took about, I don't know, a second and a half to burn out. But a piece broke off of it as well, so there were like two little lines.
That sounds beautiful.
And it just felt incredible to see that. And the luck of looking at the sky at just the right time.
Yeah.
I thought, wow, this is going to be a good week.
Wow, that is incredible.
Pretty cool. I think so. I loved it. I've never seen that before. People have said to me, shooting stars or whatever. And sometimes, if you're in a very far removed place like the middle of the Free State or Northern Cape or whatever, you sometimes see these things.
Yeah.
But they kind of faint, and you really have to look carefully. This was bright. There was nothing else. There were no stars around it that were as bright as it was when it did this. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing to see.
That is absolutely wild.
Yeah. First thing on a Monday.
It must have been a comet or aliens. Could have been either.
Aliens, satellite, meteor, who knows what it was, but I loved it.
Sure.
And then Bitcoin Butt has started the morning strong. He says, morning, Bitcoin price is at $121,000 or 1.16 million per Bitcoin. You are not too late, he says. Save in the strongest asset in the world. We're going to 10 mil. So Bitcoin Butt living by his name and marketing the hell out of Bitcoin. But that's good. I mean, listen, it's just you got to start at some point.
Yeah, you got to push something.
I noticed, filled up the car yesterday too, and I'm like,
how much was it? Was it a lot?
It felt like it was a lot more.
Okay.
It probably isn't that much more.
Yeah.
But every little bit, it doesn't take, you don't have to go up in huge increments. It's just, you fill up your car and you're like, fuck, this every time? This is what it's going to cost me? Makes a huge difference.
The price is up by 82 cents. You're like, man, whatever. Until you go fill up and you see that 100 Rand difference or whatever on your full tank price.
I saw that useless president of ours on TV yesterday.
What happened?
Well, he was meant to address how he used the family meetings. The
Yes.
ones. First of all, again, as predicted, he was late.
Okay, the usual.
That guy can never do anything on time. Now, that normally wouldn't bug me, but remember the whole way through COVID, every time he did one of those family meetings, he was always late. Remember?
Every single time.
Could
Single
never
one.
get his shit together.
Yeah.
Now, either you are not in charge of your life and someone else is. Like you're being ordered around by other people because you are not the main actor. I mean, if you're the president and you say to the whole country, I will address you at whatever. I mean, I was watching Wimbledon, so I couldn't have cared less, but I saw the comments coming through from people saying this guy's late again. If you are the president and you say we're going to meet at X time, you are there at X because that's what you... Leaders have to show up for starters.
Lead by example.
Correct. Second thing, when you don't arrive on time, what you're telling everybody is that you people are not as important as me. I'll take as long as I want.
Absolutely.
Which is rude and disrespectful.
Yeah.
And it just proves again, this guy is not interested in the problems we're facing as a country or in anything that ordinary citizens are going through. He's only interested in himself. And that is why he can't even pitch up on time for things. And don't tell me there was an emergency or if you make an appointment for 7 o'clock at night or 6 o'clock or whatever time it was meant to be, because I didn't watch it, then you be there.
Especially when it's your damn appointment.
You made the appointment.
Do you know how annoying it is when someone invites you to something and they're late for what they invited you to?
Correct. So I just I really think that if you're a politician and you are late for things, then we should just...
fire you.
Yeah, we should be able to cut you out of your job.
Absolutely.
Really. I don't see why anyone should have to put up with that shit, especially from a president who just has seemingly no time for us when we need him.
Did he say anything worthwhile?
Well, it was apparently about I'm going to have to read this because I didn't watch it. I
Yeah.
couldn't be bothered. Like, I stopped paying attention to this guy a long time ago. Only reason I bring it up on the show now is because we were talking about kind of being on time and things. So he announced a judicial commission of inquiry into alleged corruption and political interference within South Africa's police force. According to claims that Minister Senzo Mchunu obstructed a probe into police killings and political killings, he has been placed on immediate leave with Feroz Kachalia, who's just another ANC apparatchik appointed as the acting minister. I think he was Minister of Police in Gauteng for a while, Feroz Kachalia. The commission will investigate. So he's launched another talk shop. We've got the National Dialogue, and now we've got the Commission of Inquiry. This guy just loves having people sit in rooms and talk shit because it's all he knows, right?
Yeah.
He's not an action guy.
Yeah, he's not, unfortunately.
So there we go. That's what it was all about. It was all because you remember the police commissioner, General Kwanazi?
Yes.
Said all those things
about
a week and a half ago. And then it took President Cyril Ramaphosa a whole week and some to respond. And he's like...
It could have been a tweet.
It could have been an email, man.
Yeah. Straight up.
Really?
Donald Trump is running America from Truth Social.
Correct.
He could run South Africa
Why
from
can't
Twitter.
this guy just learn from that? Anyway, I don't want to talk politics first thing on a Monday, but that just irritated me. Just be on time. It's not too difficult. There are people who wake up at 3 a.m, catch 4 taxis and sometimes a bus and have to walk and still get to work at the right time. They're there.
Before the right time,
Correct.
even.
So what's this guy's problem?
Hey, the country we live in. It just shows us.
And apparently people are pissed off because he's offered interim measures like reporting within 3 to 6 months and a promise that law enforcement will operate without hindrance. Critics say this timeline lacks immediacy, fails to instill urgency during a national crisis. I mean, these are the police. These are the people we're relying on
Absolutely.
to keep us safe, to look after the country, to make sure things are, the bad people are put away, that investigations are conducted fast. And he's like, well, we'll do it somewhere between 3 and 6 months.
Reporting within 3 to 6 months.
I think he's the kind of guy who wakes up when he wakes up,
Yeah.
Like, look, fast asleep. Look. Oh. Very urgent. And then when he wakes up, people are like, oh, Mr. President, gathering around him, trying to schmooze him. It's just ridiculous. It's
Gareth,
just dumb. It's dumb.
Our government.
Anyway, so Mash has quit vaping. This is very big news, very important stuff. You say you've replaced it with sucking fisherman's friend mints.
Yes, I've been sucking the mints. And
That's the way he says it, right? Why does it always sound dirty when Mash says it?
I have no clue, Gareth. I'm such an innocent person. But yeah, the mints have been working for me. And one thing it's opened my mind to is just addiction. Gareth, addiction is the most evil thing.
Okay, so I saw a clip yesterday. I want your thoughts on this.
Okay.
You're worried about addiction.
Yeah.
6% of young people in America, I don't have the stats for South Africa, but 6% of young people in America are addicted to drugs and alcohol. Only 6%.
Oh.
Those are the current statistics according to, I don't know, people who review and research these things.
Yes.
28% of young people are addicted to social media. And which one do you think is worse in the long term?
Social media.
Right.
Because you can't stop.
Yeah.
Alcohol, you can stop. You can go on with your life. It's not like you're drinking 24/7. Social media is toxic.
So rather drink
Rather drink and
or
smoke.
take drugs than
Yeah.
be on social media, though.
Yeah, take all the drugs.
Yeah, do what you have to do, but don't be on social media all the time. That's way worse for your mental health.
Gareth, social media is so bad for you. In fact, speaking of addiction as well, I was actually talking to a friend of mine. I actually have a video clip that I give to the guys as well about online dating.
Oh, yeah?
So online dating actually became an addiction to people at some point. And only now people are starting to get out of it. People are starting to get out of it. People are starting to admit it and say that I was addicted to this thing.
Really?
And I've been talking to a friend of mine actually this past weekend, and I told him that because he was like to me, no, like you guys are all in relationships, because now all my friends are in relationships except like one friend. And this one friend is like,
this one sad friend who hasn't got it's just this one person. Everybody else is happy and settled, and there's this one sad sack of shit.
But he's like, no, guys, it's just, it's so easy to be full of people nowadays. One mistake and you're out. And I was like, friend, are you still on the dating apps? He's like, yeah, I am. I'm like, no wonder why it's one mistake and someone is out, because you're seeing people as options.
All right. So before you even share this clip with us,
Yes.
here's a scary thing. A friend of mine the other day, he wants to be in a relationship. So
Yes.
he's been looking for a girlfriend for a long time. He's a cool guy. He's smart. He's funny. He's got a good job. He's in good shape. He just wants to meet, and his criteria were not outrageous. Okay, so I'll
Yes.
tell you what some of them were, and then you can tell me what you think the number is. So he used ChatGPT and Grok,
Okay.
and he said to it, how many women between the ages of, I think he put in like 26 to 40.
Okay.
It's a big range.
Yeah.
There's a lot of difference between a 26-year-old and a 40-year-old woman, okay?
How old is your friend?
He's probably between 38 and 42. I'm not exactly sure.
Oh, okay.
I guess that's somewhere around 40.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she must be between, 28 to 40.
Okay.
She must not have a mental health condition.
Okay. Preferable.
No, he doesn't want like a crazy or a
Yeah.
depressed or an anxious, and we'll get into this in the last hour, by the way. We're going to talk to someone who actually knows about this stuff, because Dr. Hanan is not on this morning. And you may have noticed that Mash is not Leanne. But he didn't want someone with a mental health condition. He just doesn't want that going into a relationship.
Okay. Makes
Again,
sense.
not unreasonable. Why would you
Yeah.
want someone who has severe chronic depression if you could have someone who
Absolutely.
doesn't? Okay,
Yeah.
it's just you're less desirable if you're depressed. Sorry,
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you, but there's something to be depressed about.
Certainly.
Okay, then he didn't want her to have a kid by another guy. So in other words, he's not looking for a virgin. He just doesn't
Yeah.
want some other man's child while he's starting a relationship
Fair.
with you, because then he has to see this other man. I mean,
Fair.
again, not
Yeah.
unreasonable.
Yeah. Fair.
He said he doesn't want her to be obese or anorexic, but anything in between is fine. So,
Okay.
again, quite
Healthy.
reasonable. This is reasonable.
Yeah.
These standards are much lower than the ones I would have put into
Gareth,
Grok.
these are things that I wouldn't even mention, because these are like things that you don't even
For
mention.
you, they're default, right?
They're default.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, between obese, which is no one really wants that, and no
Yeah.
one really wants anorexic. Again, those are
Yeah.
just not attractive. So,
Not.
somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing, James? Is it attractive to you? Oh. Don't lie, James. I heard you giggling like a maniac over there.
Yeah.
James hates
As
fat
soon as you said
people. hey.
obese, he's like,
James,
I was
he
like, hey, bo.
hates fat people so much. He makes me look moderate by comparison.
Hey, bo, James.
Very bad.
Nanda, I'm
He's
on the
very
show more
rude.
often now that I'm skinny.
Anyway, so all right.
Yeah.
Age range, size
Okay.
range, no mental health conditions, no kid from a previous man.
Yeah.
I think those were. I mean, he might have said. I don't know. He didn't put any major other considerations in. He didn't say,
Okay.
"I want her to be brunette or blonde. I want her to have big tits. I want her to have a great job." None of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
None. So those are things that you would think would matter, but he was being as general as he could.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, just those conditions I've mentioned,
Okay.
with one or two others that were much less important that he might have thrown in, but that don't affect the outcome, because
Yeah.
I don't remember them being important features.
Okay.
How many women do you think are available to him in all of South Africa?
How many people? What's the population of South Africa?
60 million. Call it 65 million with all the illegal immigrants.
Okay.
Divide that in half roughly. You got, call it 30 million.
Female
Women?
population. Yeah.
Of those, let's say he prefers white women or black women. So you're cutting out a large percentage there. If he wants white women, let's say, then what's he got? He's got like maybe 2 million total white women. Only about 4 or 5 million whites. It's not a lot.
Really?
Yeah, it's tiny.
Oh yeah, it's minority.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's say 2 million.
Okay.
Of those, you've got to cut out the lesbians because they won't be interested in him. That's a few.
Yeah, of course.
You got to cut out the ones who have the mental health conditions. That's a few.
Yeah.
You got to cut out the ones who have a kid by another man. That's quite
It's
a lot, I would think.
It's a lot.
So how many do you think he has a potential of meeting, finding? And they're probably not on the dating apps, but anyway, how many do you think?
Maybe A million?
Ha! A million?
Am I pushing it?
A million? No, the number it came up with. So this Grok said 28 women. The whole of 28 women fit his criteria.
Oh, well,
Which
that narrows down his search.
I mean, but I don't. Where would you find them for starters? I don't know if that's absolutely accurate. So he went back. Now, by the way, he told me the process. That's how I know so much about this. And I remember because it upset me. I thought afterwards, that can't be right. Anyway, he came up with a number because he said to both AI engines, he said, I want you to give me a generous sample. So what is the widest possible sample this could be based on those criteria, and give me a range rather than give me an exact number. Because, I mean, 28 sounds suspicious, right? I mean, there must be at least 28 in Joburg alone.
Yeah.
Right? You would think.
Gareth, that number is too little.
So it came up, it said, at a minimum, 15. At a maximum, it said 150. So it seems a bit arbitrary, and I don't know if that's right. But maybe it is. It's using the census. Maybe it's using mental health statistics published by either the health department or private medical aides, or who knows.
The thing is also with all these statistics as well, it only counts if someone has actually, went for therapy and stuff like that.
Yeah, self-reported.
Self-reported,
Look, I don't know, but that frightens the hell. Let's imagine it's 150. That's still nothing.
No, Gareth.
What chance do you have to meet 150 in the whole of South Africa?
Zero.
No chance. They might all live in KwaZulu-Natal, for all you know.
And you're on Tinder swiping people in your 5-kilometer radius.
No chance, right?
You'll never meet these people.
So when you talk about your friend who's addicted to these dating apps, I feel very sorry for people who want to be in a relationship, because I think it's harder than ever to find someone of quality.
Oh, it is. But also, it's partially their own fault if they're still on these apps as well.
Yeah.
Simply because the act of swiping is so addictive, Gareth. That swiping thing, you gamify meeting people. So now that you see it as a game, you no longer see people as people. Meaning that one little mistake that someone does, someone breathes the wrong way. And you're like, oh, I'm going to swipe on him and I'm going to move on to the next one. Someone greets you the wrong way. Someone just doesn't respond to one text that you sent them. And you immediately write them off. When in reality, and I asked this friend of mine, like, how have your recent dates been going? And he's like, no, me and this person were like vibing and we're chatting. And then, he just stopped being like reciprocal, Then I just stopped responding as well because he stopped responding. I'm like,
it's childish and people have no perseverance.
Exactly. And I was like, hello, one of you needs to push.
Yeah, but
one
also,
of you needs to.
I mean, listen, a big part of it, Mash, is that people can't even look each other in the eyes because of these things.
They can't.
So when you meet people, you can see it. A lot of people under the age of, call it 35.
Yes.
They have huge trouble just making eye contact.
Yeah.
And there's no confidence. Zero. Gareth, your friend, says Nunyabiz. Put that back up. Nunyabiz says your friend should consider someone with a kid. Many kids whose fathers have abandoned. Yeah, but that's not his fucking problem. Why should he have to pick up the slack for a shit dad? If you're a deadbeat dad, don't drop your fucking children on my pavement. I mean, I'm standing up for him. I don't know that that's his thinking here, but I would not. I've thought about this, right? And I've met some amazing girls who've got they tick a lot of the boxes, and I'm way more picky than this friend of mine.
Yes.
But I will say this. If you've got a kid by a man other than me, I'm not looking after that kid. And I don't want to marry you if you've got that baggage. It just puts you in a category that I'm not interested in.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's very popular for people to say that. And probably I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. And that's okay.
But it's your preference,
I don't
Gareth.
want... If Mash has had a kid with some woman, and then I decide 6 years later when Mash has run off to somewhere, I decide I quite like her, but she's got Mash's kid, it's a deal breaker for me. I'm not interested in taking on your kid from another man. I'm just not.
Yeah.
Carl says, do you know how few people the criteria, know that the plural of criteria is criterion? Actually, yes, criterion, criteria. Criteria is the plural, correct. You should just ask the woman that question and see what their response is. That should be your only criterion. Yeah, okay. ChatGPT is shit at research. It's at 1990s levels of knowledge, still, says Patrick. I've heard this from a lot of people. And then someone else here, Danny, said, Gareth, AI is shit at maths. At one point, ChatGPT couldn't get the answers to how many R's are in the word strawberry, right? Yeah, they've launched Grok 4 now, which Elon's very excited about. And then people, all they do now is they try and catch Grok 4 out, and then they screenshot and they send it to Elon and go, it's shit. and he has to respond to all of them. You got to love living in 2025. I mean, you can actually find the guy who's the CEO of something and say to him, why is this thing not working?
Directly.
I made the mistake of asking AI for help with working out my raw dough weight for my bread, says Bitcoin Boot. Never again. It messed up that maths 3 times. Yeah. Speaking of relationships, is Gareth in one you never talk? No, I'm not. That's why I don't talk about it, because it's fuck all to say. The Real Network, maybe it was Mecca Hitler Grok, and there are 28 women in South Africa who resemble Eva Braun. Maybe. Again, that's a Grok problem, right? Strayamate says, Nunyabiz, that's so true. There are so many shit men out there who abandon their kids in this world. Don't need him in my life anymore at this point, but he still left me with scars. Yeah, okay. This is not a therapy session yet. I don't see Dr. Hanan.
Oh, shame.
Do you know how few people... Okay, wait, hang on. It sounds correct that your friend needs to order a nice Russian or Eastern European. Well, listen, that's always a possibility, hey? I think Gareth's supposed friend is also named Gareth. What? No, it's not me. He's saying I was doing this. I wouldn't have thought to do this. This guy, okay, so this friend of mine actually wants to be in a relationship.
Yes.
He's actively looking. He wants
That's
love.
also the issue, the actively looking part.
Yeah, I know, but I honestly, it's fine. If you want to be in a relationship, you got to find one. But I'll tell you, it's hard. This is why I bring it up. If that number is even, let's say it's a tenth.
Yeah.
Let's say it's 1,500.
It's such a big
If it's
number.
1,500,
yeah,
that's still small. If you're looking for a needle in a haystack, 1,500 out of the total population of 60 million people in this country is tiny. So,
Gareth, a little bit. I feel like the number that ChatGPT gave your friend might be accurate, because also
I think there
our
might be something to
matches
it.
are few and far in between. Just because people are our types physically, just because people are our types and we get along with them, doesn't necessarily mean they're people that we should be dating. So I feel like it might have narrowed it down to a certain degree to somewhat of a realistic number to how many actual matches your friend might actually have within this country. But at the same time, it's a tough pill to swallow.
The Olinda says, "Okay, Andrew Tate," with laughing faces. I don't like Andrew Tate, and I don't like the comparison.
Yeah.
There is nothing wrong with me telling you what I prefer. If I were to marry, I would not marry a woman who has a kid by another man. Just me.
That's a preference.
And if I don't tell you that at the start of a relationship, I'm lying. Then it's going to go badly from that time
Then you're
on.
wasting both your time.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it just, so the minute I hear that, and I promise you there are some absolutely amazing women out there, no fault of their own. I'm not saying I'm assigning blame. I'm not calling them names. It's not my preference. I think there would be many things that would put other people off of someone or turn them on. But one of the things that for me is it's a deal breaker if it's going to be a relationship. Look, hook up, fine.
Yeah.
Hook up, who cares?
It doesn't
like you
matter.
get together,
Yeah.
something fun happens. Maybe it carries on, maybe it doesn't. But if you're going to be seriously committing to something, that's just not on the menu for me. That she's going to have a kid from some other guy. Ask Penwell, says Bitcoin Boot. Yeah, everybody wants me to ask Penwell about being an absent father. Can I tell you something? I am not particularly interested in most people's personal lives.
Yeah.
Doesn't interest me. I don't find it revelatory. I don't find it exciting or interesting. And if he does have a good relationship with his kids, then that's on him. That's his business to keep that way, to try and foster better relations with his kids. If he doesn't like their mums, and it sounds like there's more than one, then again, how's that ever going to be my problem or Mash's or James's or yours?
What are we supposed to take from that?
Yeah, whatever you do, you must do. It's like, people who have serial kind of, what do they call them?
Serial what?
It's almost like they
Killers.
No, not serial killers. No, like they serially jump from one person to another.
Oh, serial daters.
Serial daters.
Yes.
And people who are codependent. It's their business.
Yeah.
So
it's their business.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm not that interested in that.
Let people do what they want.
And I don't care about Penel's personal life.
But yeah, the entire dating landscape has just become this toxic wasteland where everybody wants this perfect person, and one little mistake someone does, one little box someone doesn't tick, and they're over them. And
I'm not saying I'm some kind of prize.
Yeah.
Let's not get confused here. I'm not saying that I would be the easiest person to be with.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I am. You've landed some tremendous win if you end up in a relationship with me. Frankly, I'm not looking for one. If it happens, it happens. Great. I'm not closing the door, but I'm not like this other person whose name I'm not going to mention now because you'll all like harass him for the rest of his life. But he's looking for a wife. He's looking for a girlfriend. He wants a permanent relationship. He wants to commit to this. And that number to me seems very, very small, which depresses me. Carla van der Westhuizen says, tell the friend to remove the mental health criterion and see how that number increases.
Hi. I feel like we all have issues though, Gareth.
Yeah, sure. And
we all have something.
Yeah, I know. But you would not choose that.
Yeah.
If you could have someone without that. Let's just be clear about how people have preferences.
But in reality, though, you
Your
can have
preference
someone
would be-
who's just good at hiding that.
But Mash, your preference would be that they weren't mentally ill.
But the reality of it is you'll have someone who's good at hiding that.
Then get the
we all have
fuck out of
mental.
there.
I even have mental issues as well. We all do.
Then run a mile if you find out they've been hiding their mental health condition. Listen, I think depressed people,
Yeah.
I'm not a good match for depressed people.
Yes. I'm not either.
I have zero sympathy. I don't really want to hear you moaning and whining.
Yeah.
I don't want to see your sad face. I'm not interested. So I would be a terrible partner to anyone who had a mental health condition that tended towards depression or anxiety.
Anyone who has depression or anxiety shouldn't be in a relationship, period.
Well, yeah, they should just...
Because now you go to the gym, you go to an event, you go anywhere, and they're losing their minds wherever they are.
I don't know because I've never dated anyone who's been like that. And if they have, good for them for keeping it to themselves.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise I would have run a mile.
Hey, Yazin.
I just don't, you know what? Life is good, right? I have enough time to do the things I care about, see the people I want to see, spend time with family. I get to do a job I love.
Yeah.
I'm going to screw that up by having some depressed chick on my... sitting at home waiting for you. Oh, you're home again. Oh. How was your day? Oh, it was depressing.
Hey, Yazin, Gareth.
Would you like me to dig a hole in the garden for you? I'm not good at this stuff.
Yeah.
Dear Linda says she's joking about the Andrew Tate thing. Don't worry, I didn't take it personally. I just think it's funny. The police just arrested a woman who was collecting child support from 11 different guys, making each one think that they're the father.
What?
See,
what a
that's
queen.
Vyasin. What a queen.
What a queen.
Are you impressed with that?
I'm impressed, Gareth. How do you fool? How many guys?
11.
So that means that she slept with all 11 9 months ago.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
I don't think that's commendable.
Yo, that is shocking. But then again, with the dating pool nowadays, that's how people live. 11 people in 1 month. Oh, that's nothing.
I think that's shocking because that means she's ripping off. She's stealing from 11
Yeah.
men.
None of them wanted paternity tests.
What this is what you got to do. And some advice for guys. If someone tells you you're the father of her child, you do the test and you do it 3 or 4 times.
You always do the
to
test.
make absolutely sure.
Yeah.
And then if it is yours, you give the money. You pay.
Yeah.
You don't become some deadbeat.
The test should be a condition. It should be a condition.
So too. And
I'm not
if you
paying
have
shit
any
until I get a test.
decency at all, then you also You let the child take your name. You go with the mother to register the birth. All of that stuff.
You pay damages.
You do whatever you got to
Yeah.
do. You made that child as much as she did.
Absolutely.
Don't leave her with her. What a
Yeah.
disgusting thing to do. When men behave like that, they do us all a great disservice.
Men or women?
Men, when men behave like that, they just abandon.
Oh, and they abandon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
revolting.
But now there's a
Complete
baby.
character.
Here's a woman with 11 baby daddies.
Yeah, no, she's.
That's-
Look, but I mean, you could say if she slept with all 11 of them, she doesn't even know which one is the father, right? So
That's
she's
true.
casting her net wide. But
What
I
if
think
none of them are? And it's the. And she was
it's
like,
another one.
I
It's a
slept with
different-
12 guys.
Yeah.
One is broke. One is broke.
And she didn't tell him, and it's him.
Exactly.
Well, then she gets what she deserves. Mo Rabbit says, many years ago, I dated a nice lady with a kid, not for me. Just
Yeah.
know you will have to be prepared to schedule your life around her child. It's understandable, but it's not for me. Yeah. Not
Yeah.
worth it. Judith says, I'm a single mom with 2 kids. Their father is 100% supportive towards them, and we have a mutual parental relationship and a respectful friendship. I must say I'm lucky, but dating is still difficult. Yeah.
It does make dating difficult. I'm not going
Of
to.
course.
Having a child does make dating difficult.
Come on, Gareth, says Slippery Pickle. How can we all play matchmaker if we don't know your friend's name? Maybe he should just order from Moldova. I hear you can get her paired with fine wine there. Isn't Moldova also the most depressing place in the world? There are more depressed people in Moldova than anywhere else.
Where's
I think that came
Moldova?
up. It's the worst country in Europe. It's near Romania and Bulgaria,
Okay.
and between them and Belarus or the Ukraine or something. And the
Okay.
most important thing to know about Moldova is it's got huge caverns in the mountains where they store lots and lots of wine.
Ooh, same here.
Yeah, so that's the only thing that's nice about it, though. The rest of it is just terrible. I had a one-night stand, says Bitcoin Boot, and the lady had a kid. She didn't tell me. The next moment, the kid rocks up at the bed, touches my beard, and says, Papa. I ran out within...
They had
5
a one-night
minutes.
stand in her home.
Yeah, well...
With her
yeah,
child in
sure.
there?
Hey, we all make mistakes at some point. Baby mamas always pump the baby daddy. I'll never date a woman with kids, says Pumlani. Baby
Not
mamas.
necessarily.
Listen, I
Not
feel
necessarily.
it's tough for women who've got a kid because
Yeah.
again, there are a lot of guys like me who will just say no. It's just not going to happen.
For women and guys with kids, it's difficult for all of them because even women are like, I don't want to deal with your baby mama. Your
Yeah.
baby mama's
Oh,
always going
yeah.
to be in your life. She's always going to be
Right.
wanting to open legs for you and stuff like that. And that's how people view it. People's number one thing is always, you're always going to go sleep with that person you have a child
There's
with.
going to be a relationship.
There's going to be a relationship and you're going to sleep with them at some point.
Okay,
And
listen to
that's
this.
not a thing.
Yana says, Gareth, would you consider a woman with the child if the father of the child had passed away? I had a hard no on anyone with a child. Then I met a man that I adored. He had a child, but the mother had died. Well, it's easier. Easier if the other person is dead.
Is it?
Yeah, because then you don't have to deal with them. If that person is a single parent and the other parent is dead, that counts in your favor, I would think. Makes it
think
easy.
so?
Yes, because there's no X.
Yeah, there's no X, but
X is dead.
okay. So now
That's all right.
also it depends on how young the kids are as well.
There is a show on YouTube called Weird City where you fill in a questionnaire and they put it in an algorithm and it will find your soulmate, irrespective of orientation, age, and race. Yeah, if you believe that. I do think, ultimately, I think ChatGPT and other AI will be able to narrow the field and give you, eventually, it'll give you a list of names. And you can be as specific as you want with
Here
your
are the
criteria.
5 people based on their requests on this
Yeah,
platform.
and I mean that's
that
what
match with you.
so that's what these dating apps are supposed to do, right? You
Oh,
you
they're
list your
not.
preferences,
Yeah.
you list your things that you're looking for, and it's meant to match you up with, but it never does, according to people who
The
are
thing
on there.
is, Gareth, nobody actually really knows themselves. You actually don't really know yourself
Yeah,
that
that's a big
well.
problem.
And
That
that's
is a
also part
big
of the
problem.
issue because I only realized, like with my current partner, it made me realize that, damn, this is what I like.
Okay, here's Nunya Biz says, women are more willing to care for other women's children than men are when it comes to other men's children. Women are clearly much more evolved. No, women are just more compassionate and nurturing and generally have a greater sense of care for infants and children. That's why women are the ones who raise children. Fathers in the animal kingdom, if a father thinks a child is not theirs, in almost all animals that are able to do something about it, the father will kill the child. In the animal kingdom, the father will not raise another man's child in the animal kingdom. So consider me a moderate by comparison. If a lion finds that one of the lionesses in his pride has cubs from another male, he will kill those cubs. And the same
is that an actual thing?
Yes, same goes in the primate kingdom. Monkeys, baboons, gorillas.
But how would they know it's not their child?
They can tell. They can smell that the genes are different. They can. The reason a baby looks more like the father when it's an infant, is because the father must recognize something of him in it. I'm talking about humans now.
Yes.
So that he will look after it as his. If he thinks it's another man's child, he's not going to want to look after it. This was always a thing. People would say, "Oh, he's got your eyes," or "He's got your forehead," or "He's got your ears," or whatever. It's important when a child is born to a woman that he looks like the father, for the father to create that. Women have a natural bond with the child they've given birth to, and they nurture it, and they are by and large compassionate and kind and caring. That's what women are evolved, if you're going to use the word evolved, to do. So that doesn't surprise me. But don't say AKA are more evolved as if in comparison to men. Men are evolved in other ways that women are not. If the ex is dead, it also depends if he left insurance money to financially sort the kid out.
I was about to talk about supporting the kid. Because also you can't it's very difficult to just step into a fatherhood role and all of a sudden you have the expenses of a child out of the blue. So the financial part is also very important when it comes to the ex being, deceased.
My problem says Miss... How do you even pronounce Chictonic? Anyway.
Where's the comment?
My problem is that most men are shorter than me.
That's an issue, girl.
She's tall.
That's a very big issue.
She's very tall.
Yeah. She'll never find a man.
Sean says, I've brought up other dads' kids, put 2 girls through school, got divorced, I'm starting again. Well, you have bad luck.
Shame, man. But you know what? It's all about just giving your all, Gareth. If you love someone, whatever baggage they come with, Gareth, when it comes to matters of the heart, you can't control who you fall in love with.
Sure.
You can't control who you fall in love with. It might be someone who turns out to have a kid, and you just have to go with it.
Yeah. And you know what? If you really care enough, and the other person is so fantastic, I would probably make compromises, but it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, objectively, where I am right now, it's not on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with all those evolutionary and animal kingdom facts, but that didn't make my deadbeat dad care for me one bit when I was a baby. Yeah, okay. Again.
Trauma dumping.
Yeah, you don't come here and just go and see a therapist.
Yeah, go see Dr. Hanan, guys.
And if you can't get him, there's bound to be someone second or third best. He's the best, but maybe you find some other one who just gives you the pills.
Absolutely. Yeah. The dating world is so tough at the moment. And if you find someone that you really like, hold on to them, whether they have a child, whether they have a dog, whether they have a whether they have an ex they're still sleeping with, you have to hold. Just kidding. The last one has it.
Look at what Vyasan says. All jokes aside, go back to Vyasan quickly.
What did Vyasan say?
You could miss a great chance to be with someone to share your life with if you don't even try it out. I agree with that.
Absolutely.
Don't ever close the door. Don't ever say, I'm going to be single forever, or my list of things that I expect in a partner is 5 kilometers long. And then you never have happiness.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to be happy and allow yourself to meet as many people as possible. But I do not think you're going to meet them through your phone.
Absolutely. Because also the thing with dating apps is what has ruined the population so much is that because we're all tick boxing people. Like, oh, they must have no child. They must be within 5 kilometers. They must be white and skinny. They must be like this, like that, blonde hair, blue eyes. The reason why people are single is because we're seeing people as check boxes and not as people. People are dynamic. People are unique. Someone can fit every single criteria you have and just miss one or two things. That doesn't disqualify them from dating you. It just means that you need to learn to compromise on some of the things that you have going on here.
Absolutely.
So
I agree with you.
That's the thing, and that's what I told my friend as well.
So tell me about this friend, because you've got a video to show us.
Yeah, so I told my friend, I told my friend the exact same thing I just said now, that people are dynamic. You cannot tick box people.
Sure.
And the reason why you're still single compared to all of us is because we just took a chance. We just met people. These people could have been serial killers, and we decided to trust these people one day. While you're still tick boxing and you want every single box to be ticked. And people aren't that.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to tick every single box. So you have to compromise. Be willing to, rather. So the video that I have here is also a video showcasing how dating apps actually are on the decline. And Bumble, I think it's Bumble, had to fire 30% of their staff
This
as
is
a
very
result.
good. I like
It's
this.
shrinking.
You made my morning.
It's
Okay.
shrinking. Producers, roll the tapes.
I knew this was coming, y'all. I knew this was coming. The downfall of dating apps is officially here, and you can't outrun it. We're all going to have to find some social skills, and quick. So let's get into it. Bumble's laying off 30% of their workforce. I've been predicting for a while that the dating apps are going to have a major decline just based off the way that things have been going and the trends I've been seeing. I feel like 2015, around then, is when dating apps really started to become popular. Up until that point, they had existed, but they weren't cool. They were really more for older people or kind of like a last resort for some people. It was not mainstream at all. It really started having its era in 2015 and peaked during the pandemic. But since the pandemic, we have been seeing the dating apps on a major decline. And I think we're about to see them go back to what they were pre-2015. I think they're about to be pretty much non-existent. So yeah, meeting in the wild is back. We're seeing a big resurgence in in-person events, things like mixers and happy hours and networking events. There's a rise in paddle and pickleball clubs. I don't know what the difference between paddle and pickleball are. Could be the same thing. I don't know. Running clubs are having a big moment. Chess clubs, dance classes, things of that nature. I think we're also just going to see people interacting in public more, approaching people in coffee shops and at restaurant bars. So hiding behind screens is out. Meeting people in the wild is back in, and I love to see it. I think our society really needs it.
All right. I mean, she's not wrong on anything, but except her microphone technique is absolutely shocking. You know, those mics have a clip on them that you can clip onto your clothing. That's why it's that small. And the reason it has that furry and or spongy thing on the is to stop the that happens. And she must just, if she learned to do that, she'd be very sexy and interesting. And she'd probably pick up more men. But I mean, who am I to know? She's the expert on dating apps, so maybe she knows more than me. I think it's a good thing if people stop using the dating apps for...
Great thing.
Listen, if you want to hook up, cool. Go for it.
Go for it.
Knock yourself out. There are dangers to this. There are advantages to it. There are probably people who have gamed the system to the point where they can get laid every day.
Every day,
I'm sure that there are.
Multiple people.
And good for them if that's what makes them happy. Similarly, if you're going on there to try and find the love of your life, I feel very
tough
sorry.
titties, because you ain't finding no love up in there, babies.
Tough
You're not.
titties.
Yeah. Like, you just have to grind it down. Unfortunately, nowadays, it's all about social skills. And swiping on someone based on how they look.
What did she say? She said in the wild.
Yeah. Now people have to go back to the wild. You have to go back to the watering hole.
And she said paddle, pickleball, and running clubs.
Yes. That's where it's at. The gym as well. Oh, Gareth,
I don't meet people at the gym.
No, like you won't necessarily meet people. I don't want to meet people at the gym. I'm in a relationship.
But you didn't meet your boyfriend at the gym.
No, we met on social media.
Oh,
Yeah,
just as bad
on
as dating
Facebook.
apps. Man. It's just as bad. Facebook. People still use Facebook.
Facebook is still popping, apparently.
Wow.
Apparently.
Mash has gone back to the OG of all social media to find love. But it worked.
It worked perfectly
Okay.
for me. And because I think mainly because Facebook is the real you. You know, you have your old pictures. You see the very real you. So we saw the real version of each other and we're like, okay, this is where it's at. But yeah, it's time to go back to the dating apps. It's time to meet people at the gym. It's time to work on ourselves. And yeah, I think it's a positive thing. Things are changing for the positive. More people are working out. More young people are working out. It's nice to see all these things, you know, coming together and happening. But I think the most important part is just people learning to I wouldn't say manage their expectations, but stop seeing people as tick boxes. Stop
I agree with
that
you.
mentality of
I
the
agree with
dating
you,
apps.
But you also you don't go into anything blind. You don't go in just going, okay, I'm ready to date. Let's just first person I meet, let's go. You know, you gotta have exercise a little bit of judgment. Otherwise, you could invite a lot of unstable and weird shit into your life that you might not want.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay, so here's some comments. This is interesting. This is from Wade. Sometimes the old people leave the house. It depends. I'm not sure what that's about. Men approaching women at the supermarket, says Nunya. Stop their vehicle along the road to get your number while you're out for a walk. Well, you must be very attractive then if this is happening.
You must be extremely hot. Like
I mean,
extremely.
you say don't tick boxes, but if you're not physically attracted to someone,
that's a tick box.
Step one is
that's step
you
one.
know, you got to cross that bridge. Vyasan, again, who said some very wise things this morning. You can think of yourself as the best person to be with, but sometimes you need a better half to tell you it's not fine to take a dump with the door open. We all have bad habits. Yeah, that's pretty revolting. And we do. Everybody needs someone in their life who is able to criticize them and correct them when they're wrong and help them find the least egotistical path forward.
Absolutely.
Right? Because otherwise, if it's all up to you, you're just going to become a selfish sack of shit.
Yeah.
And no one wants that. Gareth, don't you ever say paddle and pickleball in the same sentence again. You remind me of my ex. I didn't. That woman in the clip did. Okay? Gareth and my neighbor would get along. She's built herself a paddle court and she's in her late 40s. Does she just play against herself?
Yo, she can invite us over. Hey, I love paddle.
We'll all go. The whole
Let's all
team.
go. Yeah.
We've got the whole office here at the Real Network will go and use her paddle court.
Absolutely. I'll wear my shortest shorts, baby.
Yeah, she sounds interesting.
Let's go.
She probably hates people. So I realized I went out on Saturday morning with the family. We went for like a late breakfast, early lunch situation.
Okay.
So it was my sister and her boyfriend and my mom and dad and me, and we were sitting at a restaurant. I want to make this clear at the outset. I don't think I am a movie star. I don't think I have the best looks on planet Earth. But my God, one woman went past. She had a nose so enormous. It looked like a beak. She looked like a vulture. She had such a big nose. There were a lot of people who were terrifically out of shape.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not comparing myself to them. I'm just saying objectively, I can only see the world through my eyes. And a lot of these people and couples, and you look at them and you think, wow, that's an ugly couple. But they found each other. Okay, so they're not ticking boxes.
Yeah.
For them, that other person is beautiful.
Exactly.
And I'm happy for them. Let me be clear. If you're in a relationship and you look in the mirror and you look at your significant other and one or both of you is ugly, I'm not interfering. Good for you.
You know, a friend of mine recently was like to me, Mash, you don't go for looks. And I was like, the hell you mean by that? Because I think my boyfriend is the hottest thing on earth. What do you mean by
Careful now
that?
what you say because he's probably watching.
Who? My boyfriend? Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so so careful what you're going to say now. This friend said you don't go for looks.
Yeah, my friend said I don't go for looks. So I was like, what the hell do you mean by that? Because I think my boyfriend's the hardest thing on earth.
Okay.
It's not about what
But it's
you think.
subjective.
It's subjective. It's about what
Right.
I think.
Okay.
So, yeah.
My sister, says Judas, and another friend of mine found their partners on Facebook by people who they knew.
Yeah.
I, however, get messages from creeps on there from time to time. You know,
Bible.
it is funny. They did this. Do you remember that chart that we put up a long while ago where people meet someone to date? And it used to be like
Facebook.
no, it used to be church.
Churchy.
It used to be university. It used to be workplaces.
Workplaces.
You wouldn't want to meet
Y'all
someone.
banging your colleagues?
Yeah, now that would be frowned on, right?
I would definitely
and
frown
HR
upon.
would be called in and everything else.
yeah.
But if you think about it, you spend a lot of time at work, right? Yeah, you spend a lot of time at work. Where are you going to meet people? The South African economy is tough. It's not like we can all afford to go out every other day.
Yeah.
So where are you going to meet people? So when people meet at work now, it's complicated because you have to either do it in secret or you have to just say, this is not going to work.
Is it even a relationship?
I can't work with you and be attracted to you.
Are they just banging? I feel like people just bang
I
at
don't know,
work.
dude.
I don't think they build relationships.
I think it's so dangerous.
Yeah.
That path is just filled with all kinds of, it's fraught with danger.
It's fraught.
If someone else's partner is ugly, that's one less chance that you'll fall in love with someone ugly.
What?
The neighbor's paddle court even has a little ducky for the ref. She went all out. Wow, this is an interesting neighbor.
I'm coming to your neighbor.
Yeah, that sounds exciting.
That's Viasen's neighbor.
Bitcoin Boots.
Oh, Bitcoin Boot. We're coming there to eat the Bitcoin money with your neighbor.
I have a client who found her billionaire boyfriend on Facebook. She quit her job and has been in Italy for 3 weeks. I hate her, lol.
Facebook is where it's at, Gareth.
B, that is fantastic.
Facebook is where it's at.
But what if he's a scam artist and she's paid for that trip to Italy and he's actually a deadbeat? It could happen.
Yeah, there's many Sam Freemans?
Yeah.
There's many of them out there.
Bankman Fried or whatever the hell's name is. You guys don't take dumps with the door open, says Matthew Dixon. No, Matthew, behave yourself.
Ish, Matthew.
Koketso says, at least she must be spiritual, God-fearing, smart, financially stable, and of course, a big booty. That's what Koketso wants. You know?
Tick the boxes, Koketso.
Sure. Someone's 5 is another person's 8. This is
That
true.
is true.
Yeah,
That
I've
is
seen
absolutely true. Yeah.
What? Oh, it's time for a break. It's past 7 already. Listen, you may think Mash and I need help because we may be mentally ill. Well, you're in luck. And so are we. So in the next hour, we're going to talk to James about some sport very briefly. James, can you keep that down to 5 minutes? Got it? Okay, and then we're going to speak to Cayley Jorgensen, who is a registered counselor with Health Professions Council of South Africa. She's the founder of Engage Support. Her main focus is creating awareness and educating parents, teachers, and students on the mental health pressures of today's world, as well as resources and techniques to understand and cope better. So this may end up being your lucky day after all. You might not get a whole lot of sympathy from me or from Mash, but Cayley's the person you need to hear from. So we're going to hear from her next. Don't go anywhere.
That was already in my mind. I want to be the boss. Like I said it in my interview. I had an interview, my first newspaper interview when I was 8 years old on the Sunday World. It was the second edition, the second printed edition of the Sunday World. And I mean, I guess they're still around, and a lot of newspapers have fallen off since. I said I'm going to grow up to be Puff Daddy. My heroes are Leonardo DiCaprio and Puff Daddy, but more so Puff Daddy.
So when did you become Puff Daddy? That's what we want to know.
From that moment, from that
Daddy.
moment, because I started, writing songs, making music,
Okay.
making beats. I got the software that
So
could allow
producing,
you
you
to arrange.
actually started
Yeah,
learning
with a
it.
computer. Yeah.
Okay,
so
doing
like,
it yourself. Okay.
like think about it like this: we kids who started, like, remember I told you at my primary school, we were already programming computers. We were making our own games. Like we'd sit, make our own games. You know what I mean? Like we'd hack into networks. We'd be able to download things of certain sites.
So what does that digital identity actually mean? Is it just about more secure logins, or is it something more transformative? Digital identity is just a way that you as a consumer can prove that you are who you say you are, and there's many ways of doing that, and there's quite innovative ways that companies in the digital identity space are trying to achieve that, which I can talk to you about in a minute. But yes, it's just, instead of whipping out your smart ID or a paper passport or something like that, digital ID is simply being able to prove who you are in some sort of digital manner.
Oh, I'm fast asleep here. I'm the president, but I can't stick to time. When I say I'll be in the family meeting at 6, I arrive much later. Did you watch it?
I did. Well,
You did? James,
I
I'm
tried to.
I thought
Actually,
you
no.
couldn't sink any lower, and you watched the fucking president. Weren't you watching Wimbledon? Because that's what I was doing.
No, let me reword that. I tried to watch it. I did jump in at about 7:10.
Yeah.
And DNC told me that he was late, then I gave up on trying to watch him. So no, I didn't. Almost.
Ugh.
He was late.
I knew it was happening because X and Instagram were telling me that Cyril Ramaphosa is hosting a thing. I was like, oh, I forgot about it, but I didn't go to it.
Yeah.
I'm so
Not
annoyed.
interested.
I was telling Flex this morning on the way here. During COVID, he came out and he did the first few family meetings. He was on time.
Yeah,
He had confidence.
and he just
told
and then
us
he
the things.
lost all of that.
What happened?
I don't know. He fell off the wagon.
He lost an iPad and then it all went downhill.
Maybe that's where it all went wrong. He's still
iPad.
trying to find that iPad, and he's so distracted he can't do anything else properly. All right, let's look at some sport from the weekend. There was a lot of sport. There was a lot of good sport to watch.
was.
Everybody's talking about the book rugby win on Saturday in
Correct.
PE, right?
Correct. In Port Elizabeth, where nothing happens. 45-0 was what the Springboks did this weekend.
Yeah, it's really Italy's not coming back.
No, a lot better
Those
than
guys they've had a shitty time. They don't want to come back.
So last week we beat them 42-25, if I'm not mistaken. This week we said, no, you guys aren't scoring any tries.
Yeah, nothing.
Just us.
Zero.
We were the only try scorers here. 45 love, 45-0, whatever you want to call it. That's how it happened.
Yeah, I think you're mixing tennis here, but okay.
So we beat them 45-0.
Cool.
Under 20 Springboks are also in action. They're through to the semi-finals of the Under 20 World Cup in Italy, of all places. They're set to face Argentina on the 14th, which is today, actually. Wimbledon. I didn't know you were much of a tennis sports guy.
No, I'm not.
Is that a thing?
I like the Wimbledon men's final because I think it's always the best people. These guys are seeded first and second, right? Alcaraz is, and they're both new.
Yeah.
They're relatively new.
Yeah.
I've lived through the era of Roger Federer, of Rafael Nadal, of Djokovic. And even though I'm not a tennis fan who can tell you a whole lot of things about the game, I've always kind of watched Wimbledon. I suppose it's also because in the middle of winter, it's a nice thing to do. You're not going to go outside. You're going to be inside. You're going to be watching the Wimbledon men's final. It's a big event, and Wimbledon's by far the most important tennis championship in the world.
Iconic for
All the
sure.
others just look kind of lame and a bit pathetic. Wimbledon's got credibility. It's
class
got
about it,
yeah, it's
yeah.
got class. It's got gravity. It's got you got that magnificent Princess of Wales. That Kate is just she's divine, right? She's divine. She's unbelievably fucking perfect. And she hands over the trophy. So even if I just had to watch her doing that, it would make it worthwhile for me. The fact that you had Yannick Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz against each other, both rising stars in every which way. I mean, Alcaraz has already won it twice.
Yeah.
And I believe Sinner is the first Italian to win Wimbledon, which is quite a big deal.
Also,
And
his
some
fourth Grand
amazing,
Slam.
amazing
Yeah.
points. I mean, there were moments where I was going, which I don't normally do for sport, but very good.
Very exciting. Like you say, Sinner did beat Alcaraz 6-4, 6-4, 6-4, and 4-6. Quite a win. Fourth Grand Slam for Sinner, and his first ever Wimbledon win. Did you watch the women's one also, or no?
No,
Not that
really.
one.
Swiatek won, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Iga Swiatek dominated Anna Samova with a historic 6-love whitewash.
I did see the wheelchair stuff on, so I went to
I
the
didn't
gym
see that,
yesterday, and the wheelchair stuff was on in the morning, late morning.
Yes.
But I didn't watch it. Who wants to see that?
Marv proposed an interesting question the other day in the office.
Oh no!
He said, what would happen if you played a professional wheelchair tennis person? Do you think you would stand a chance of actually winning?
If I played and I had to be in a wheelchair,
No, you're running around and stuff.
I'd probably
but
be
they're a
worse than the
professional.
wheelchair person.
I
You
think
think
so
so?
too, actually.
Oh yeah,
I agree.
because those guys can move so quickly in those things. But
100%.
But the reason I said I didn't watch it is because I know that there are people in the world who want everything to be the same and they want us to all love everything the same way. I don't watch the women's football because it's just not as good. I don't watch the wheelchair tennis because it's just not as good.
It's not as entertaining.
So guys, don't be cross with me and expect me to lie to you and say, no, the wheelchair finals are very important. Or even the doubles. Okay, the doubles, I'm sure there are people who love doubles tennis.
Yeah.
But to me, there is nothing more important than the men's singles final at Wimbledon. Otherwise, I don't even watch half these. I watched 3/4 of the Springbok rugby this weekend. I'm not your guy for that stuff. That's why you got James here.
well, and then the Ben thing on Fridays. So yeah, that was Wimbledon this weekend.
They're doing that Tour de France.
Oh, it's so exciting. I love the Tour de France.
See, again, something I don't
Love
understand. So,
the Tour de
so
France.
educate us.
I was going to do the under 20 AFCON, but I'm going to go straight to the Tour de France.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, once a year, Tour de France happens in June, July-ish. It's obviously around France. They go up the Alps. They go through the Pyrenees. What's really cool about the Tour de France is not only are you watching like a cycling race, but every now and then they'll like do these random aerial shots of like these castles
Oh
and
yeah, I know.
these
Beautiful countryside.
palaces and stuff
Yeah.
in the
France is
countryside of
magnificent.
France. And then it gets really exciting in the last like maybe 5 kilometers only out of 186 in a day.
Yeah, why they have to spoil a tour around France with beautiful aerial shots and magnificent buildings and
Yeah.
landscapes? Why they have to spoil that with cyclists? I do not understand.
It's very exciting. It's so cool.
Does the Tour de France still have like a superstar? Like remember back in the day, the
Lance
superstar was
Armstrong.
like Lance Armstrong.
Yeah.
Is there still someone like that like we can refer to and be like, oh, I know that one person?
So they have two. So
There's
for the
two.
past 3 years or so, there's been two guys that are back and forthing with each other.
Yeah.
One guy's name is Jonas Vingegaard. And the
Jonas
other,
Vingegaard.
that's the one.
Okay.
And the other one is, damn it, I've blanked on his name. Tadej Pogacar.
Titty what?
Tadej.
What about
Pogacar.
titties? What?
Today,
Tadej.
Oh, today.
Tadej
Oh, okay.
Pogacar.
They're saying titties. Okay, today, gotcha.
Those two homies, they're against each
okay,
other.
so they're the
Yeah.
guys to watch.
They're the guys to watch.
Is it finished yet?
No, they're only on stage 9. I think there's 21 stages. It's a 3-week thing. They do it every day for 3 weeks except Mondays is their rest days.
Oh,
Every day.
wow.
Some days they'll do up to 200 Ks in a day.
Okay, I mean
So
that's
yeah,
impressive.
It's pretty
Sure.
brutal to watch.
Okay.
And I think it's just exciting because you can see what these guys kind of put their bodies through.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when they come off those bikes, they're obviously wearing like half latex, whatever, and you can actually see like, you
The
know,
marks.
the marks and the damages that it causes.
my
Pretty
God.
exciting.
Bones sticking out of lycra kind of shit. Yeah,
Oh, on today, gotcha.
So yeah, go watch the Today
broken
Gotcha
bones.
show.
Can you imagine
I'm
that?
gonna go check it out.
Imagine how awful it is to like injure yourself really badly on the Tour de France.
Oh, it must be awful.
Because I think for a lot of these people, it costs them money to enter, right? You only if you win, do you kind of get a return on your investment. The bikes are
The
expensive.
bike, yeah.
Some of these bikes
costs
If
as
you
much
hurt
as a car.
yourself, imagine you seriously injure yourself on the Tour de France. Now you have to be schlepped around and People have to give you medical attention. Your bike is screwed. Those bikes cost like 200,000 rand or something each.
You and your bike must be schlepped around.
Yeah.
Ah,
Who wants to do that?
Coming
Anyway.
off there is not a fun time.
Sure.
Yeah. So that is the Tour de France. I don't think there is a stage today, but it kicks off again tomorrow, which is very exciting. In the world of Gareth, I know you said nobody's interested in women's football, and I'm
No,
not
no one
either,
is.
but I think it's important to acknowledge.
Oh, please. Just make it quick.
Banyana are playing at the WAFCON at the moment. They're through to the quarterfinals. They have 4 points from their first 2 games. They've got 1 game left. I've made that as quick as possible. WAFCON, we're doing the things. Also, another AFCON tournament, under 20s. Our under 20s won the AFCON this weekend, guys.
Ooh.
That's something to be proud of. Our football is doing something in the world. And then lastly, speaking of football, Chelsea did the things. They did the unthinkable. They won the Club World Cup. They won that 1 billion, Gareth, that we spoke about a few weeks ago.
They won all that money.
They won all that money. Donald was present. Air Force One was present.
greatest.
He was there.
Okay, yeah.
And shame, man. Americans really know how to ruin football. So here's what happened. They did the opening ceremony. This is
Okay.
normal for a football tournament.
Sure.
Opening ceremony, sharp. But that's where it ends for football. Then they play the game, and the biggest moment of the day is lifting the trophy.
Yeah.
That's the biggest moment.
Yes.
What the Americans have done, opening ceremony, halftime Super Bowl lame show thing
Yes.
with Coldplay and
Oh,
like
right.
Love Everyone vibes.
Right.
Then at the end, Donald handed the trophy over. Most of the time, the golden moment is when you hand the trophy over and the players lift that thing for the first time.
Yeah.
That's the moment. Donald handed the trophy over, and then he decided to stand there with the Chelsea players on the stage.
I'm
while
sure they
were
loved
all-
it.
I mean, maybe.
I mean, he is the most famous person in the whole world.
True.
Yeah.
True. But it's the last thing I think footballers care about.
You
is
know
the
that
whole
it's a
politics
year
game.
since they tried to kill him?
Really?
It's been a year
It's
now.
a year since they tried to kill Donald Trump. That guy shot him on that roof in Butler, Pennsylvania. It's been a year. It doesn't feel like a year.
It doesn't. It feels like it just happened.
Right.
No.
That is crazy.
He just hosted a successful Club World Cup, so good on him.
Wow.
He has an ear. And that was the sport from this weekend.
Well, no, because
Oh, no.
Patrick says only I seemed to watch the surfing in J-Bay this weekend.
That was also this week.
Unfortunately, Geordie Smith was eliminated. I mean, you go to Jeffreys Bay. You should know the place. You should stand up for Jeffreys Bay. This is your one opportunity, and you piss it away.
I wanted to be there this week for the competition, but I just work and
Is it
stuff.
a freezing cold? Or
That's
is it?
what I was asking because I spoke to my mom this weekend,
Yeah.
and she said it's
They live there.
absolutely freezing.
Yeah.
there.
So are they surfing?
They're surfing in the.
Well, they put on a wetsuit or whatever.
Are
but
there any
then-
black people in that competition? I'd imagine not.
No, there might be, hey? There might be.
Oh.
There might be. Listen, these days you can't say definitely for anything.
Yeah, that's
There's always someone who like throws out the algorithm. These athletes, these sport guys struggle with drug problems. Like Gogetso says, Kagiso Rabada. Does he have a drug? Did he have a
He
drug?
got like
None that I know of.
suspended a few months ago for a drug-related thing that had to do with certain white lines. But that's
Apue
yeah, it
says, I love women who play sports and I do watch them play various sports. Yeah, but we know what you're watching for.
Go sports. Go women.
Yay!
Our football is doing something.
They are.
Okay,
They
yeah,
are doing
all
good
right.
things.
Good, yeah.
Under 20 AFCON is what they won.
All right. The new Olympic sport, the armed AI drone wheelchair tournament, is going to be good.
I can't wait.
Imagine that. Thank you, Parallel Parking. That's excellent. Gogetsu also says cocaine is a crazy adrenaline rush. Draw the line on weed, people.
Draw a line.
yeah.
Period.
I don't know. There we go.
That's
Far
not
more
true.
interesting
Far more interesting
than the
than
Tour de France.
Yeah, that is wild. If I saw it, what is that?
Is that a cow
I think that's a pug. No, it's a goat.
Is it a pug? No, it's
It's
a
a
pug.
pug.
It's a dog.
riding a bike?
Wow. All right. Well, just before we get to our guest, who I know is waiting for us. Thank you, James. Is that all?
I have to, I have
Okay.
to. I'm going to go fetch her.
Thanks, James.
That's what I'm going to.
Okay, so get our guest ready. And in the meantime, let me just show you something that I sent to James that I thought would be quite interesting since we're showing wild animals. This is a leopard that stands on its hind legs like a human to see its prey. I think this is a
Okay.
pretty wild video. I'm not sure where it comes from. someone in the Kruger Park, I think. But this is cool. Take a look at this. Take this thing. It's like, can't really see. I think I'm gonna, there we go. Sits for a little bit and then check that out, hey? It's pretty amazing. And then it goes, still can't really see. Let's see if I can get an even better view. Yeah, there it is. It's amazing, huh?
That is scary, Gareth.
Yeah. I think that's amazing.
That is absolutely amazing
Right?
and kind of scary.
Yeah.
Imagine walking in the Kruger at night
think
and you
it's
see a
very cool.
leopard standing.
Yeah. And then here's some old people. Flex, have you got that thing of the old people at the doctor? Okay, take a look at this. We need sound on this one, I think.
That's really impressive, Mr. Smith, but I said I wanted to listen to your heart.
You know, you need some stupid in your morning. Our guest, Cayley Jorgensen, Councillor of the Health Professions Council of South Africa. She also is the founder of Engage, that's Engage with an I, support. Her main focus is creating awareness, educating parents, teachers, and students on the mental health pressures of today's world, as well as resources and techniques to understand and cope better. And she was also in the Forbes Africa 30 Under 30. It's a list marking the 10th anniversary of recognition. It features individuals in business, technology, sport, and creative arts who've made significant impacts on the continent. And Cayley is one of them. So it's a pleasure to have you here.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks. Nice of you to come in and see us. I mean, you're used to dealing with mental health problems, so look at what you got this morning. You got me and Mash. How exciting
First
for
thing
you!
on a Monday. It's
I know,
awesome.
it's terrific. All right, so let's just quickly talk about this Engage support. Tell me what it is.
So basically, Engage Support is a mobile and web-based app. We launch in schools and companies. And basically, so I'm a registered counselor. I've got my private practice, and working with children, adults, teenagers, I kind of noticed the need to make mental health more accessible.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
the thing is, everybody's got mental health, but it is so expensive to go to therapy. And the problem is, like, everyone spoke about a mental health pandemic after COVID.
Yeah.
Like, we've gone through that, and we're like at the bottom. Like, we are.
Do you think it's worse now than it's ever been?
To be honest, personally, I do. Purely because we've got social media, we've got this idea of like society, you've got to be busy, you've got to keep going.
But Cayley, don't you also think that self-reporting is part of the problem here? Because people assume that when they're not perfectly happy, they must have something wrong with them. And being unhappy is part of being human.
100%. But I think a lot of times, like, people will then feel unhappy and they don't know what to do about it. So they go to social media and they scroll and oh, I've got this, I've got this. And then you keep scrolling and you don't talk to anybody. So it gets bigger and bigger. So
The cycle.
Exactly. So that's why we, like, through Engage, we've got mental health resources. We've got a reporting system, a place to speak to counselors, because the thing is, if
I think
you
it's
don't-
terrific that you can do this at scale.
Exactly,
which is clever.
Exactly. And
Because-
that's why digital is so awesome.
Sure, and for most people, as you mentioned already, they can't necessarily afford, because it's becoming very expensive, to have a mental health practitioner of their own.
Yeah.
Right? So that's part of the problem. And also, it's sometimes out of reach for people. Maybe you live in a very far away rural part of the country. Maybe you live in a family where they think mental health is ridiculous. Maybe you've been so abused and so told that you are full of nonsense that you've just stopped talking to people. You just pretend everything's all right, even though you're breaking up inside. So there's that. But I do want to ask you about this, because I do think it's become almost like a badge of honor and or an excuse for some people to label themselves, to diagnose and label themselves with a mental health condition. So you meet people, we were just talking about this now, Mash and I were joking, a friend of mine went onto one of the AI engines, both of them, Grok and ChatGPT, and said, he's looking for a partner, but he doesn't want someone with a serious cluster B mental disorder. Not an unreasonable request.
100%.
But it seems to me that these days, if you do go on social media, you do meet people, within the first couple of seconds, you don't even know who they are. And listen, I've got to say, put my credentials on the table right from the start. I've always believed mental health is as important, if not more, than physical health. On my radio show 15 years ago, we were talking about it, and people only knew two kinds of things. They knew mental health in terms of you're a reasonably balanced, okay person, you're lucky, you're fortunate, you just don't have any bad chemistry in your head, or you're crazy. That was all they were saying 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's evolved. But I think people, within 5 minutes of meeting them, they're telling you about their severe depression, or they're pathologically anxious and they can't get up and they can't do things. And I just think it's too much. I think we've gone so far past the balance point that we're now, the train is motoring to the next station, and most of us should have got off 5 stops back.
100%. And I think that's the problem with like self-diagnosing, because we go to social media and we read up on all the symptoms and we're like, that's me, I've got that. But it's important to kind of learn, what am I? And then also just kind of like see what is appropriate to share and what is not appropriate to share.
Yes.
And that's why making mental health resources is so important, because the internet is not, it's not categorized into this is real, this is valid, this is not, this is age appropriate, this is not. So we've got to have a platform where we can direct people to valid information and somewhere to actually just kind of validate their concerns, but also tell them like, okay, yes, this is the symptoms of depression. Go and see a GP or go and see this person, because you can't diagnose yourself. I mean, that is a huge problem that we're also seeing among teenagers is TikTok, Instagram.
Yeah.
I've now got depression. I've got anxiety. I've got
Yeah.
borderline,
When
like,
some 16-year-old who sees 15 other people on TikTok telling her that they're depressed, she thinks, oh, well, this is obviously something I have.
Yeah.
I want to have this.
Hey guys, I'm depressed and I'm
Because-
emo, and all of a sudden
and
we
because
all are.
maybe if I say I'm depressed, people won't be horrible to me at all. It's
Yeah.
a way of escaping any kind of responsibility. But let's not go down that road, because I think we've made the point. Let's talk about where the serious problems are. So tell me, in your experience, and you think it's getting worse since COVID, maybe that was a major catalyst for a lot of this. What are the biggest mental health issues people are dealing with?
So I think it's varied. Depression, anxiety, suicide rates are increasing hugely, self-harm,
Yes.
and especially among the younger generation. So we are seeing suicide ideation, self-harming behavior starting much younger, so primary school age.
You got to explain that to me. Let's just start with suicide. That's obviously the biggest worry of them all, because that means people, and if they succeed at that, there's a life extinguished.
Exactly.
Okay, and for the people around them, it's an extraordinarily painful thing, and all of us have a deep well of compassion for the people who have to live on after a child has committed suicide. It must be the most awful thing for a parent, or for friends, or for family. So how come that is happening at such an accelerated rate in a time where life is objectively easier and better for young people than it's ever been? I mean, we joke on this show about working in the mines, but kids used to work in the mines. They weren't coming out of the mines and hanging themselves from a tree. They were getting on with their life. They were working in factories during the 1800s. They were sent to war, young men and sometimes women, but mostly men. Why is it that we're now dealing with people who are, it seems, more fragile than they've ever been? They think life is much harder for them, even though objectively you've got the world of information at your fingertips. There is more plentiful food than there's ever been. People used to have to grow that stuff, and we didn't have supermarkets. How can it be harder for them objectively? It probably isn't. Why do they feel that it is?
So I think if we just look at what's happening 10, 15 years ago, there wasn't social media.
Yeah.
But there is, so that's obviously something
People
that
weren't
we've got
killing themselves.
Yeah, but we
at the rate they
also
are now.
maybe we don't know because it wasn't always reported. So that's the difficult thing, is like we don't know. I think mental health has always been there, but I think the access to information is a huge problem. We are also seeing it's more reported, it's more spoken about, it's more, the media shares information. So I think there's a two kind of side to it. Yes, I think it is it's too prevalent, if I can say, it's happening too much, but it's almost like we've got to kind of like take action now to stop it from getting worse, because we're in it. I think the youngest suicide in South Africa was 6. So, and that was...
What is a 6-year-old doing killing themselves?
Yeah. I know,
How does that happen?
Exactly. And it's so sad because it's, like you're saying, suicide is that final point. Like, you can't come back from it. But and that's why we've got to, and I think it starts like within the community. You've got to have that information of noticing the signs when someone is struggling, because a lot of times we say, suicide is someone's looking for attention. But the problem
those are not the ones who actually succeed usually.
Exactly. And the problem is, if I say, they're just looking for attention, it's fine.
What
happens
if
they exactly? What if we're wrong, and what happens if they actually do it and we can't go back?
Do we know? Because so often when people kill themselves, we're not sure why they did it.
Yeah, nobody
Do we know what the reasons are for at least some of these suicides? Is it because they have been horribly abused?
Yes.
And they've grown up in absolute misery, and they don't see a better way out than to just leave this life.
Yeah.
Is that the worst?
I think trauma is a huge part to play. Trauma, peer pressure, bullying, huge at the moment. I mean, like, you've got physical bullying, like at schools, punching, kicking, fighting,
That's always
whatever it
happened,
is.
right?
Yeah. But now somebody's recording it on their phone. So, and then it goes viral. So you've got bullying that used to happen with 10, 15 witnesses. Now it's thousands and actually endless. So there's so many different contexts, family pressures. I mean, even if we just look at the workplace, there's this kind of like hustle culture, keep going, be overproductive. And parents are stressed, families are stressed. That has its impact on the children. So I think that's where it's hard to say exactly what is causing it, because it's so diverse. It's just, there's so many different factors at play.
Do you think that it's like a generational thing? Because you remind me of, there's actually a video that I saw on TikTok and YouTube a few months ago of a child who was basically confessing to their mother. She was basically telling her mother, this is what I've been through while growing up, while living under your roof. This is the stuff that has happened to me. And the mother was like, how do you expect me to take the burden of your pain when I still have my own stuff that I haven't dealt with?
What kind of, that mother should be the one who's put in front of firing squad. Let me tell you, when an adult does that to a child, and I think that there are probably a lot of kids who grow up very fast in South Africa.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just look at our country, because we have lots of trauma. We have lots of very broken, very dysfunctional families.
Exactly.
Kids are expected to be adult way too young. When a mother says, how do you expect me to deal with your trauma because I haven't got over mine? Listen, honey, you had the kid. The kid is your priority. You deal with your trauma when you get to old enough to have some time to yourself. Otherwise, how dare you put the child second to your own needs?
Yeah.
And that's what's happening.
What kind of revolting person is that? Huh?
That's the reality also, Gareth. It is kind of generational to a certain extent.
But me, what about me? How about you think about someone else for once in your life? If you're a mum.
100%. And that's happening so often.
Yeah.
Like it is, and it's just so sad, because now you've invalidated my experiences and you're telling me, actually, I can't speak to you.
Yeah.
I can't open up to the one person I should
How
be.
much of this is just narcissistic, self-absorbed selfishness? Because I wonder, when I look around, how many people's problems would be solved if they just stopped thinking about themselves and actually thought about someone else? You know, people who are depressed and people who are anxious and they constantly navel gazing and always trying to evaluate their own personality, attitude, feelings, thoughts. They're in their own head so much that they're not even living in the real world. They may as well be AI.
Exactly. And then you've got people who they can't talk to anybody else, so then they turn to AI. I mean, I've got like 9-year-old clients who are going to AI in the middle of the night because they don't know what to do. So yeah, I think it's a cultural, societal problem at the moment, and that's where mental health is such a challenge.
I can definitely agree with that, because even myself growing up, I used to I couldn't talk to my parents because my parents were those parents. We've been through worse. Whatever you're going through,
So shut up.
we've been through worse. So shut up. I used to walk to school. Hey, mama, and this is how I feel. Hey, I used to walk to school. Shut up. I don't have time for this.
Hey, look, you've turned out all right.
You're taking a bus. You have heating in the bus, and you're telling me about someone calling you a morphie at school. Seriously, I don't have time for this. That's the experiences I had growing up. And looking back, it's kind of funny, but while it was happening, Gareth, I was
traumatic.
mortified. I was mortified because I was being bullied. My parents didn't care because to them it was always, we've been through worse. What you're going through is nothing.
So I want to ask you both this, because there isn't a right or wrong answer, and you don't have to be qualified to be able to give me a thoughtful answer on this.
Yeah.
We were talking just now about something like depression, for example. I think we're raising kids, and there are adults who have grown up with the incorrect perception that life is always or should always be comfortable, that life should be easy, that being alive should be as free of obstacles and as downhill and in a sports car as possible. And any time that you encounter anything that makes your life a little bit less than perfect and comfortable, there's got to be someone else to blame, something else to blame. You're not paying attention to something. You need to go deeper. You need to do mushroom journeys. You need to spend several hours on a... Life is meant to be exciting, loving, thrilling, ecstatic, but it's also risky, uncertain. These are things that we all have to deal with. Yeah. And character is only built by going through difficulty. I mean, you could sit here now on a show talking with a smile and laughing about what you went through as a kid. I'm sure it was hard, but my God, it's given you character.
Oh, yes, it has.
Right? And you are probably one of the most fearless and self-assured people I know. Maybe it was your mom saying, I don't have time for this, because you had to figure it out yourself. You weren't given Ritalin and put into cotton wool and told, don't worry, Mash, if those other kids are so mean to you, it's because they're horrible kids. And your mom phoned their parents and said, back off of Mash. You mustn't be so mean to my little Mash. Instead, you had to figure it out for yourself. So you developed character and personality and a sense of humor and a lot of other things probably. And maybe there's a bit of pain deep down, and maybe that's also okay. What do you think, Cayley?
I think that it's such a critical point to develop resilience in kids, adults as well. Let's be honest, adults need to learn a little bit of resilience as well.
A bunch of them who don't have any. Yeah.
And that's, I think, the problem. Like, we need to develop resilience, but we also need to develop those coping techniques. And I'm a very strong believer of education is power. And if we can educate, if we can help, we can teach people, then hopefully we can change the world, quite literally. But
absolutely.
I think that absolutely. I mean, if people aren't given the opportunity to understand what they're feeling, then, I mean, mental health is everything, right? Like, if I don't have my mental health, I don't have anything. And my mental health affects everything. Physical health, work, everything like that. But we have to learn resilience, and resilience is not just getting over with it. It's it's like, for example, like a ping pong ball, right? I throw a ping pong ball at a wall and it bounces back. That's resilience. Resilience is not breaking something. So we don't have to break to continue. We've actually just got to get the skills to bounce back. And like you were saying, Gareth, I mean, things are, life is hard. There are obstacles.
Sure.
It's how we deal with it and how we move forward.
Yeah. And then how much of an emphasis, or rather how important would you deem mental health in a workplace?
Oh my gosh, so important.
Yeah. Because that's one place you spend a lot of time in.
Just hang on.
Yeah.
Schools universities and workplaces in South Africa have become proxy parents for people who weren't raised properly.
Yeah.
I'm going to explain myself because I know that's a cold, hard statement to make.
But it's
Let me
true.
explain. So a lot of people, I don't know, they were raised like veal or something. So like put in a cage and beaten. I don't know how the hell, parents have children and then behave like this. But a lot of kids have grown up very badly. They don't have any guidance, or they're just like given the longest leash imaginable and they think the world is all there for them. And they've got main character energy. They go through their life thinking everyone else is just an NPC in my big movie. And all along the way, they forget that they might just be a very, very, very small wheel in a big machine. And if your job is to add up the numbers in the column, I don't give two shits about how sad your relationships are, or how miserable your relationship with your mother is, or whether or not you have gambling debts or anything else. You only come into me and my world for like 8 hours a day. And why don't you just get on with it and do what you're here to do, and I'll pay you. That's enough. I'm not also responsible for your mental health. No?
So, yes, but at the end of the day, we've also got to look, what is a company? A company's trying to make money.
Yeah.
How do you make money if your employees are burnt out? And yes, things at home, unfortunately, come into the workplace. There's workplace bullying.
Then go and get another job. Like
Yeah.
if you're really unhappy, no, come on. Like some personal responsibility here. Why is the company always the parent and you're always the child? If you look at it as an equal relationship, which it should be, in a free
Yeah.
market, you should be able to say, I'm being paid well, but this job is horrible. I don't feel like they're looking after me. I'm burnt out. All those things that you just said. I'm going to leave. I have the confidence in myself to know I can do better somewhere else. Get up, pack your stuff, and get out. Resign.
Gareth,
You
you
can
know
always
how hard
do
it is
that.
to find a job.
Sure it is. Then
Yo.
you need to be so sure of yourself. Otherwise, suck it up. Because you need the money. You don't have a million choices. You got two. Stay and suck it up, or go and find another job because you're better than this. That's all.
And I think it's not the company's job or responsibility to solve, for example,
Yeah.
your mental health problems, right?
Yes,
But
yes.
if a company is in a position to provide access to support, then it's still the individual's responsibility to access that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times what we are seeing is companies are providing, for example, like reduced services or 3 or 2 sessions available at a therapist or whatever, because
Yes.
I think psychology, it's expensive, but it's the same as medical aid. Companies provide, what is it, like 50% sometimes more, those benefits.
Yes.
I think that's where it is. It's those benefits. And then you've said, okay, cool, you've got access, right? But it's still your responsibility to go and
Certainly.
take that and do
So
something with it.
Wade says I'm being a little idealistic. And there are lots of people who disagree with me here. Carl says Gareth has clearly never run a business with more than 10 people. There's a balancing act. If you run the business, you need to balance empathy with pragmatism. So let's be clear. I'm not talking about how I behave in the business environment. I'm trying to bring an argument to Cayley, who deals with this stuff all the time, so that she can give me the sensible position between an extreme position and another extreme position. I mean, you also get the companies who do absolutely everything for their employees, right? They basically tit feed the employee from the moment they walk in the door.
Absolutely.
They are given these and those things. You have 5 mental health appointments this month if you'd like them, and we'll warm your feet if it's a bit cold at work today.
Yeah.
And if you're feeling just slightly not great, why don't you just rather stay at home? You get that as well. You get those
They are
companies that
really
do that.
soft companies.
And invariably, those people also get taken advantage of.
I've seen that. Actually, that's happening to a friend of mine now. They actually have someone in their company who is so useless. And I keep telling my friend that, this person worked in my company. They would have been gone
And you
very
can't
quick.
fire anyone in South Africa.
Oh,
That's
it's
another
very
thing.
difficult.
So
You have to
could
build a
have
case.
you could have some real mental health case. You could have some complete raving lunatic
Yeah.
who's on your staff, and they started off fine and they were doing a good job and they brought in the money and everything was working, and then they became crazy. And their craziness became evident to all, and you can't get rid of someone. I mean, what are the grounds that you could fire someone for mental health? Probably zero.
Yeah,
It's impossible.
They'd come after you with CCMA.
For sure, CCMA, and then you'd have a whole bunch of other crazies who will look after the crazy people because they themselves are thinking, don't want this to happen to me. We better defend this lunatic, right?
Yeah, I think that is. I mean, like it is so difficult, right, in South Africa to do any form of change within the business. But I think at the end of the day, it's also if somebody is, acting that way or whatever the case is, like if the company is in a position to help, then
you want to, sure.
Exactly.
I mean, you want people in your company to be stable,
happy,
and cared for, and you want to show compassion.
But building resilience.
Okay,
because
so
adults need that too.
I just want to go back quickly because Mash has taken us onto the workplace tangent here, which is cool because I think it affects a lot of people. But let's just go back to what you said earlier about suicide being the number one concern. We've covered that as much as we have time for.
Yeah.
What about depression and the difference between someone who is clinically depressed and has been diagnosed by someone who knows what they're doing and someone who's just sad? Because you should be sad when someone in your family dies, for example. And should you be showing that sadness in a certain way? I don't think that we can prescribe that to people.
Yeah.
And maybe some people want to go back to work the day after something like that has happened because work distracts them enough that they can focus on that, do well at work, and don't have to think too much about their feelings. For other people, they'll want to sit and talk about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There are people who want to talk. Yeah. I actually worked with someone who just couldn't stop crying about their issues every day.
Mash, your life is so amazing. How did you eventually get them to shut up?
So every time they'd come to the kitchen to make coffee, everybody would walk out.
They'd
We'd
burst
all
into
walk away.
tears?
Yeah, they'll just burst into tears. Whoever was there talking, whoever was available to listen, this person would burst into tears and start venting to this person, to whoever was willing to listen.
Shame.
But from my experience, so one thing I have to mention is I've actually been diagnosed as clinically depressed before.
You have?
Yes.
Okay.
By an actual therapist.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been diagnosed before. And one thing about it is I'm the happiest person you'll ever meet.
Yeah,
You'll never think. I'm so happy-go-lucky. I was shocked myself when I was diagnosed because it was a very long questionnaire that I had to fill. Very long questionnaire with some answers and all that kind of stuff. And when they diagnosed me, they were like, yeah, you're clinically depressed. I was like, there's no ways.
Get out of my studio.
Get out of here.
No, I mean, is that true? Because I've heard that from a number of people too who've said it doesn't necessarily manifest in the way that you behave on a day-to-day basis.
It's not that.
But if Mash is feeling dark and unhappy, it affects him worse than it would someone who doesn't have depression. And sometimes it's debilitating to the point where he maybe can't do the things he has to do. Is that true for you, Mash?
For me, I can still do everything. I think one thing about me is I have so much discipline, I have so much resilience that I do shit even when I don't want to.
So how does the depression that you were diagnosed with, how does it manifest in your life?
So based on the questionnaire that I did, it manifests when I'm alone. When I'm alone, that's where all the tick boxes were slanting towards the depression that I have. So when I'm alone, that's where I start overthinking things. I start thinking that I'm such a loser and all that kind of stuff. I just start having all these thoughts. And that is part of the reason why it's so difficult for me to just sit still. I cannot sit still. I always have to be doing something. I always have to keep my mind busy as a result.
Yeah?
So yeah, that's how it manifests with me. Whenever I'm not doing anything is an issue. That's also quitting vaping was so difficult for me. Because now I always had all day long. Now I no longer have this thing to just keep me grounded and just keep me at a level zero. I now have to do something else.
There is a link, though, between addiction and mental health.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And that's the thing is, I mean, just in South Africa, like internationally, yes, but in South Africa, I mean, addiction rates are so so high. And it's not just alcohol. It's not just the normal like addiction that we think of, right? It's not just alcohol, drugs,
Gambling,
vaping,
sex.
exactly.
It's also social media. We were talking about that earlier.
Self-harm is an addiction as well. Like there's so many different types.
Attention seeking.
I mean, and that's the thing, right? Is like there are so many different things that people are like dealing with. Like you're fine with people, but when you're alone, I'm the same. I can't be alone. I literally
Really?
like I get depressed so quickly. I'm like, no, I can't. I need to be with people. But if you are, I mean, you can't always be with people. So that's kind of where, and one of the reasons why I started Engage Support is so that you can then, if you are alone at home, therapy is expensive. Can't always, it's not always attainable for someone. But 24/7, there's got to be someone where you can vent to, just ask, like, am I okay? What can I do? And it's also taking that initiative, like, okay, cool, let me go and look at this resource. What coping technique can I implement? Let me do some journaling. Let me do some of this, because, you know, it's in those moments where we do struggle. And it's those people where, like, if I'm at home alone, what do I do? Do I ruminate in my thoughts? Do I just sit there and I overthink? And that's something that it's so prevalent I think everything that I've said today is just so prevalent, but overthinking, so prevalent.
So, are there still places, are there still people who are struggling to address these things like we are this morning head on? Is it still shameful and taboo in certain parts of South Africa, with certain population groups, age groups, people who have different resource levels? Where are people being left out of this mental health care net?
Yeah, and I think that's where it is. It's kind of both. So yes, people are open to mental health, especially the younger generation. I mean, they talk about mental health so openly and so freely.
They never stop.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at the older generation, there is still that stigma.
They never fucking stop. They are so fascinated by their own boring fucking lives and their own shitty mental health conditions that most of them are writing novels every morning and every night in their heads about boring nonsense. But older people are not. They have this attitude,
stigma,
right?
yeah.
So if you think about the silent generation, most of them are gone now. But even the boomers, it's like, oh, just be strong, and they don't dig deep at all. And perhaps they have a much worse time than they're letting on.
100%. And the stigma of going to therapy, especially within the African community, of like, you know, there's this like way up of kind of going towards, like, for example, like spiritual.
Rather go to the Sangoma.
Exactly. Or it's not even, you don't need therapy. It's like, this is a spiritual problem that is your fault.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Where
you were responsible.
Exactly. Where it's not. Like, and that's where I think there is that balance between it's so closed and open.
Can also mention, when it comes to the spiritual side of things, especially with ancestors and all that kind of stuff, coming from a family that is very spiritual, there's this also thing of removing responsibility from yourself. So with my family, for example, my family can't just own me chair. But anyway.
It's all right. You're just giving back some of what you got as a kid. Go on.
So my family has this thing where anything that goes wrong in the family, anything, someone's bewitched us. Someone has bewitched someone. That's always the thing. And it's not just my family.
External locus of responsibility.
Yes, it's not just with my family. I realized that going on Twitter, all black people have that. Everybody has an aunt who's bewitched them. Everybody has somebody who's bewitched somebody. And that's the reason why that's why my son is not successful. He's not successful because that Rakhadi bewitched him so that his success would go to her and her children. There's so much of that in black culture that we just overlook it. It's become so normal. In fact, somebody tweeted us not so long ago, like, do we all have a Rakhadi who's bewitched us? And everyone was like, yes, we do.
This is fascinating. I think you've opened up a whole other can of worms. That's amazing.
It's a whole thing.
I think that we need to get into that.
Yeah. So that's the thing, is that black families don't want to take responsibility. Even in my family, when I confronted them after I started doing therapy last year, they were like, yeah, but we are bewitched. I'm like, no, you are not. You need to start taking responsibility for yourself and for the way that your kids turned out as well. You can't blame everything on some witch. You
Hey,
can't.
listen, I mean, people have been doing that for thousands of years, right? There's
Eish.
some woman in the village who looks a
Yeah.
bit suspicious. She must be bewitching everybody.
Absolutely. Kayley, don't look at me like that. Are you bewitching me?
If only I had magic powers.
So that's interesting because I wonder if mental health experts and
Yeah.
people who are practitioners of mental health and therapy and talk therapy and, drug therapy and whatever other kinds of therapy there are, I wonder if they are treating what Mash has just said as a serious consideration, because the more we get to talk openly about these things, and most people won't, which is why Mash is so exceptional, but most people won't. And I wonder if we start to take these things head on, we won't solve a lot of problems the way you are at scale, because we'll address things that are uncomfortable truths and realities for so many people.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, I think that it has to be addressed head on, but at the same time, it is.
Are you saying
so
we should
important.
burn witches? Is that what you're saying?
Imagine.
I mean, I think that's a good place to start, don't you? Find the Rakhadi who's bewitching everybody and burn her in the town square, no?
Like,
Oh,
it's
that's not
such-
what you're saying.
It's such an actual thing. Like, even when my brother completed suicide in 2018. No explanation, no letter, no nothing. Who did we blame? Oh, the Rakhadi, who bewitched him.
Yeah.
Who bewitched our family.
Yeah.
That was always the blame. And I remember I was sitting alone at home when I found out. I was home alone. And I remember finding out from one of my aunts that his last phone call was to my parents to ask for money. And to ask for 1,000 rand. And my parents were like, no, we don't have money. And the following day he was, gone.
I wonder what the link is. We spoke about the link between mental health and the workplace, for example. But I wonder what the more pervasive and obvious link between financial ruin, which for some people is the end of their world,
That's a big
and
one.
suicide is. And I know in South Africa, many men, we always talk about women and men's mental health as if they're completely different, but sometimes they're quite similar. One area it is different is that men in South Africa are largely evaluated on their ability to bring home the bacon. If you're a guy who can't make money, I think a lot of men who commit suicide in South Africa, again, I'm basing this only on anecdotal evidence that I've been privy to, but I wonder how many men, if we did the research properly, and you might have more of a view on this than I do, how many men are just doing that because they cannot bring money home, and that is all that they are good for some families.
And some of them feel like, okay, me gone, at least they'll have money. So this is me doing them a favor. This is all I can do. This is all I'm worth.
That's very, very sad.
That's
isn't
how
it?
we, that's how we view men in this country.
And that's a lot of what people think.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people that have attempted suicide, you then speak to them afterwards and they're like, no, it was, almost the reason was so that I could give my family money because it's easier. And it's so sad, but it's also just showing us, I mean, for example, so my cousin committed suicide as well. We're 3 people here, and we already know 2 people that have committed suicide.
You see? Yeah.
It's mental health is everywhere. You said you were clinically diagnosed. Same, me as well. Like, this is the thing. It's the statistics in South Africa are 1 in 3 people in South Africa will at some point in their life struggle with mental health. There's 3 of us and there's 2 of us already. So
I'm lucky.
you.
I'm free. Yay, I made it.
but it just shows how prevalent mental health challenges and struggles are in the world, and that's why we've got to have conversations like this, be open, talk about it. But it's not just one cause. It's financial, it's trauma, it's generational, it's societal, it's just everything.
Well, listen, I mean, we're not going to get to the bottom of this in 1 hour with you, but I'm so happy you could come and join us this morning. And Mash, you are always just, I mean, every time I think I know everything about you, there's like new layers.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yo, it's but that thing that you said about the kind of ancestors and the Rakhadis and the bewitching and like an external locus of responsibility, I think you've touched on something fascinating that we've got to get into again. Thank you for coming in. Thank you so much,
Thanks so
Cayley.
much for having
And
me.
most importantly, thank you for being with us this morning. We will be back on Wednesday at 6 a.m. bright and early. If you've got any comments, or something you want to share, something you want to suggest, a guest that you really want to have, let us know. Just drop it in the comment section on YouTube. If you haven't liked and subscribed, how many times do I have to tell you? I mean, really, do you want me to set the mental health people on you? You want me to bewitch you? I'll find. Where's Gogo Mawen? I'm going to find her straight after the show. We're going to bewitch you, motherfuckers, unless you've subscribed and liked.
I'll call her.
Right, let's get her. And Skoteni as well. Get both of those, Gogo Maweni and Skoteni. We're going to get onto some bewitching this afternoon. Woohoo! Get ready. It's all coming. Cheers. See you Wednesday.
Ciao.
Just want a fucking ciggy! Hey guys, it's Coco here. I got fucking shot, as many of you know. Yeah, Phil, fuck you, mate. Yeah, look, these protests are getting pretty hairy. But I am not dead.
No smoking allowed here.
Yeah, well, I'm fucking hungry.
There's some food in the back I can get for you soon. Sit tight.
Thank God for hospital food donations. Fuck me, I like meat rare, but this is next level, mate.